Hi, everybody. This is Beth again. It's been nice reading through your introduction video or posts. Thank you for sharing stuff like that. I'll be replying to those in the next day or so. But I wanted to get back to you with a video about activities for this week and the products that you're supposed to be turning in. I'm not super prescriptive about what you need to produce. In terms of, I want to give you leeway to find your own sort of analytical interests and voice. And so I'm going to give you some guidelines, but feel free to be a bit creative in these projects. If you have any doubts about certain ideas, run them by me with email. But there's a lot of leeway for what we're looking for. So in our first unit, I've chosen 3 pieces, each pretty short and each pretty clear, nothing too crazy, that have a programmatic theme of clouds, suggested in various ways in either the title or in the score or in the text or, some combination of those things. Everyone should listen to all 3 pieces with the score in front of them. Then you can decide whether you want to do a gloss analysis of all 3. So if you choose to do all 3 pieces, you'll be thinking about how they're different or how they connect to each other, but maybe not going into as much detail in each one. Or you can choose to connect 2 pieces or just focus on 1 piece. Obviously, if you just do 1 piece, you're going to have more detail in your investigation of that 1 piece. But regardless, of which of those combinations you choose, you should also come up with another piece that hopefully you can find the score for, that you can include, and or links to recordings, and compare that piece. So something original, something that you've dug up. And I did put a section on how to find scores on D2L. So there's some suggestions for that. Again, feel free to ask me questions or contact me if you're having trouble. So the analytical work is the 3 pieces I chose to think about those, and then find a piece that relates, that you choose. And then you should write a short paper. And that product this time is going to have some kind of graphical analysis, and it doesn't have to be beautifully formatted in some kind of software. It can be a piece of paper that you've drawn on and adapted, as long as it's clearly readable. That's what I'm after, is not the polish, but the content. And that graphical analysis will drive the text that you write. And I highly suggest that method of making some kind of picture before trying to write everything down in text. And then write me a short, and by short I mean at least 2 pages, not more than, 4 or so probably, unless you really have a lot of time on your hands. They should be well edited, so not repetitive. Have a clear introduction, but maybe with a roadmap to tell the reader where you're going with the paper, and then your examples and your content. If you want to, you can screen grab little clips of the score, or you can just refer to places by measure number, or time tag if you're using a recording. But it'd be better to use the score if at all possible. And then some kind of conclusion that brings it all together. And one section should be discussing how your chosen piece relates to the pieces that I assigned in some way. Now, I've gotten a question about how do they have to be the same thing? And no, if you choose the band piece that's about clouds, you don't have to find another band piece about clouds. You don't have to find, it could be a, you want something to be similar. So maybe it's a band piece about another programmatic subject that you've done. Or maybe it's about clouds, but has multiple movements or something like that. There should be some kind of link, but it doesn't have to be identical. I'm just trying to, by specifying the cloud theme, I was just trying to kind of narrow in and give us a smaller section of pieces to choose from. It doesn't have to be a modern composition. It could be something from hundreds of years ago, or it could be brand new. So that's where there's tons of leeway. But try to pick something that you can include a score for. So you're going to wrap up all your analysis and write this paper. and turn that in on D2L. And that is for you and me for communicating as you're working on your analytical techniques this semester, the paper. You don't have to share your paper with everyone else. The paper, by the way, if you put a cover on it or a bibliography, those don't count in the 2 pages of text minimum. And they should be double spaced and in some kind of normal 10 or 12 point font. Don't manipulate the margins or anything to come up with the limit. Maybe I should come up with a word limit. It's just hard with analysis where you're doing things like referring to measure numbers. That can really skew the word limit thing. So just try and use common sense. I'm not asking you to kill yourself on this paper, but to have some real content. Okay, so once you finished your paper and turned that in, think about how to distill what you found into an interesting video to share with your peers. And I've divided you guys into 2 groups so that this is a little bit more manageable than the whole class. And so I would like you to make a post to your group that hits the highlights of your analysis and introduces the additional piece that you found to the group and how you think the connection is. And please include, if you have a score, the link to the score and or recordings in your post along with your video. You're welcome to include other materials, like if there's a paper you think relates or a video or something like that. Please, by all means, include those sources. Cite them if you can academically, or ask me how to do it if you're not sure. And make sure that in your video you grant access to everybody so that we don't have any delays in getting your material discussed and looked at because you didn't give us permission. I've set out the deadlines for that as a sample for how each unit could be for the class. Let's use this as a trial and see if these deadlines make sense with your work schedule, and give me some feedback on whether it's good or impossible, or, and let me know how that part of things go. So once you post your video, then you should be looking at all the videos from the rest of the class and engaging in discussion using the discussion tool on D2L with at least 2 of your peers. And so it's fine to give some short comment to everybody, but make sure that at least 2 of them dig in a little bit deeper to some idea that the person had in the video, or one of the materials they posted, or something related that you want to add. And I would love for this to be an actual discussion where there's back and forth on the issues, since we can't all be in one room at the same time with this online format. This is our substitute for that. And because it's not real time, you do have a little time to clean things up and format them and make them readable. So make sure you edit the typed material that you have, and that it's presentable. And it goes without saying that we want these posts to be considerate of everyone else. It's fine to disagree or to find problems or to point out, to make constructive criticism, but make sure that you do so in a friendly and considerate way. And then once you've posted your at least 2 engaged posts, that's what's required for the grading. But if you can keep following up on the discussion, that'd be great. And that can be shorter and a little less complex, depending on what happens. So let's see. Let me look at my notes and see if I've forgotten anything. The videos going forward after this unit will have more to do with how you would relate this material to the classroom. If that seems like what you focused on in your analysis and appropriate to share and to take that angle in your video this week, you could do that. But this week, I'm not asking you to do it up front. So hopefully that's clear. In the background from all of these 2 weeks while you're doing the specific analysis tasks, I've also got the review, the theory review stuff, and that's mainly for your benefit to kind of brush up on skills, and I can give you a little bit of feedback, and I'll post answer keys to those things. There's one more of them that I have ready to go, and if people really want more, I can come up with more. But I think that would probably be enough to get us kind of thinking about the little nuts and bolts that are possible for use in analysis. that are common and that you've probably had at least some exposure to as undergraduates. But after the second unit, there won't be any more of those unless you really want them. Okay, so I guess that's about all I have to say. I had a question from somebody about the choosing the pieces and the similarity, the overlap. I think I answered that person's question, but feel free to send me more questions, and either by email or text or give me a call. All of those are fine. And again, welcome to the class, and I'll look forward to reading all your ideas and seeing what you guys think. So take care.